Hello, welcome to The Wandering Drew. I am Drew. In today's video, I'm going to discuss something I decided to order at the last minute for my upcoming hike and discuss why I decided to get it and some of, I guess, the advantages and probably a disadvantage or two. So I'm going out on the AT at the end of the month, June, and I was seriously considering bringing my camera along with several items of gear that I purchased recently and have been gathering. And when I started adding up all the weight of the stuff I was planning on taking, which is too much, by the way, I still need to lighten up a little bit, but it was about 3.5 pounds worth of camera equipment, with about 2 pounds of it being the camera. So it is very heavy, and it is a weight penalty. It's also going to be during the summer. I know it's going to be hot and humid. I have been training. I've been running. I've done some walking with a pack. I've been carrying a 32-pound pack for anywhere up to like 3 miles. But I don't feel like I'm in the best shape that I could be, and I also felt like I wanted to keep my pack weight low. My goal is to be sub 25 pounds with food and water. So the camera gear really pushes me close to that or above that, which I know I need to do a little better job packing, but I decided to forego the camera and use my phone. I have upgraded my phone recently. I have a new Samsung S22 Ultra, so it does take very, very good pictures. I think the quality is there. So I think the camera does a better job for still shots and everything, but it doesn't really do motion very well. It does have some stabilization, but honestly, nothing. A GoPro does a very good job, I think, and I think the handheld phone or a phone on a mount or a gimbal does a much better job than the camera, because I don't have a mount or a gimbal for my camera. It's handheld, and I think when you walk down the trail with it, even though the stabilization, and it does have stabilization, does very good for still shots. I don't think it does as good as it could be for video. Anyway, so that's what I decided to do. So I decided to take a gimbal again, and I have the DJI OM4, and I'm using that actually right now, getting reacquainted with it to record this video. But I decided at the last minute to go and purchase the DJI OM5, and I'm going to unbox it right now. There were many reasons why I decided to do this. The price is around the same that I paid for the 4, for the 5, pretty much a year and a half ago when I purchased it. However, this is a little smaller in some ways and a little bigger in other ways. It is lighter. It comes in about 100 grams lighter, but that is at the sacrifice of battery. So the battery on the OM5 lasts around, I think, 6 to 6.5 hours. Optimally, it's probably going to be a lot less, probably like 4 to 5 hours. And on the OM4, or the 4, I'll stop out saying, I'll just say 4 and 5. It'll be easier that way. On the 4, I believe it's sometimes 11, 12 hours, but I've heard upward of 13 to 14. So that's really it. Other than that, they're fairly the same. Like I said, one weighs less. They have upgraded some of the features on the 5. Supposedly the tracking is better. So when I move like this, it should be even better than it is on the 4. I found the 4 to be pretty good. I did try the 2, and I found it to lose me a lot if I walked around, if you didn't stay really still or move very slowly. So it just didn't really work for me, and I actually returned that. They've stopped making that. However, you can still buy it online. So that's and it is really, really small and light. That I do like, and it does connect to your phone too as well, and you can control it. They make a lot of different attachments for that. So, but anyway, getting back, I don't want to get off track. I'm going to go to the OM5. So this is the OM5. It comes in a very small box, and I'm going to open it up now. And I'm going to plan on taking this on my trip. So rather than bring a camera, I figured I can carry something that really weighs a lot less than the camera. That's the plastic coming off. Something that weighs a lot less than a camera, but yet still will aid me. I'm going to move this back a little bit so that I can get more of it in the shot. So, and other than that, there's a lot of similarities. Basically, most of the stuff in the box is all the same. There's not going to be much difference in it. Here it is, open here. That was smooth, huh? Comes with obviously some booklet, probably a quick guide on how to get started. This is the mount. This is how small it is. I'll take a still shot later on to show the two mounts side by side. But basically, they're more or less the same dimensions. I think it's slightly smaller. This packs up a little smaller, but when it is open, it is more or less the same size as the other one. The only other difference is they added a third button to the mount now. So on the side over here, where there was just a switch for zoom in and out, which doesn't work if you're a Samsung user like me. It generally works on, it might work on some of the older Samsungs, but not the new one. They haven't upgraded the software yet. But on basically most Apple products, that would work. So you zoom, but they added another button to increase the functionality. So the button that is different is actually on the front, and what this does is this swaps it to front and back from the camera lens. And I think some of these can be programmed. I'm not entirely sure. So obviously I'm not as prepared as I could be for this. But the power button, which used to be on the front, and the mode button is now on the side. The trigger still works, still charges with a USB-C. However, what they did remove is the other USB-A port, which was on the front of the 4, and you could actually use that to charge your phone or another device at the same time, and that is missing. So that lightens up a little bit too. Other than that, the software, they say it's a little better. The Active Track is supposed to be better. They're using Active Track 4 as opposed to Active Track 3, but most people it says it pretty much works the same. The big difference, and the reason what made me get this, beside the obvious weight, is the one feature that made me decide to upgrade. Actually, I should say two features. So let me discuss now the two features that made me really decide to upgrade. And this is what really sealed the deal for me. The first thing is that, beside the weight obviously, because that's obviously a drawer, but to spend the money to upgrade. The first thing they did is they improved the magnetic clamp. You'll notice the wings, or I say these parts that curl around, are a lot larger on this clamp, which comes with the 5, than the ones on the 4. So it should hold onto a phone better, even if it's in a case. And I'll take a picture of them side by side to show you that, and I'll put it into this video as well. So that's a reason why, because right now it looks like I'm always afraid that the phone will pop off or fall out of the case. In my last one, I went to a very small and thin and light case, which to me defeats the purpose of having a case on your phone. Let's face it, we drop them. We always drop them. Everybody's dropped their phone. I don't know too many people that haven't dropped their phone. So you put it in a case to protect it. So if I have to go to a smaller and lighter case, or one that is not as robust, to protect my phone at a risky behavior, which I think when I'm hiking, it's at risk of me tripping and falling and damaging it, or dropping it and hitting something on the floor, and like a rock or a root or something, then it defeats the purpose of having a case altogether if I'm going to a case that I know is not as good. So the fact that this has now been made a little better is a win to me. I definitely think that's something that was really a long time coming. I don't understand. When I got the last one, I really don't understand how they designed it. And a lot of people just say, well, take it out of the case and it'll work better. Obviously, the weight of a case affects the motors, but I want that protection for my phone. And I think it's important. Phones are very expensive. And I think that having it in a case is really a necessity, especially if you're going to go out in the woods, so or on the trail. So I think that's important. So the new clamp, along with the lightened weight, definitely led me to decide to take the plunge on this. But the one feature that really decided, because really I could have gotten away with the 4, the weight is not that big of a deal. I probably may have been able to buy a replacement clamp, magnetic clamp online, and I would have all the functionality. The one thing that's really different about this thing that is not on the 4 is it telescopes up. So it's like a selfie stick. Now it's a little stiff because it's brand new, but this gives me a little reach. And I have been constantly trying. I just bought another item, actually. It just came yesterday at the same time this did, and I'm actually returning that, which was another clamp to try and get the functionality of a selfie stick on either my trekking poles, because I don't want to carry another item. So to me, this puts the gimbal in a selfie stick, which now it's going to be stabilized, and it will take out some of that motion while I'm walking down the trail, and I'm able to put myself in the picture and not have to have that look where you see my hand constantly in there, or you get tired from holding it up or whatever. I can hold this like a regular selfie stick would. When I had a very light camera, I had them on my trekking pole, and I used the stick pick. But the stick pick has been redesigned, and it's just really not that good for anything that's much heavier. So a camera, you just get too tired when you have something out really, really far. So it was really challenging, and I always worried that it was going to fall off and I would lose it. And after a while, the stick pick actually got loose, and the camera would sometimes fall upside down, but it wouldn't fall off of the trekking pole. But I was always worried that would happen and I would lose my camera, or in this case, now that I'm using my phone, I'm even more worried because the camera actually didn't weigh as much sometimes as the phone, but it was a different type of weight and I could secure it with a cord, so that even if it did fall off, it would not fall down let's say a cliff or into a body of water or something like that. But there's no way for me really, there's no lanyard or anything, or like a wrist strap like you have on a camera on my phone. I guess they do make cases that you could do that, but I just don't have that. So this to me will securely fasten my phone to the gimbal, and would allow me, hopefully, when I'm walking down the trail, to get the shot where you can see me and see the trail behind me, and it's not right in my face and I'm holding up my arm, and sometimes you see the arm or the thumb or a finger blocking the lens, like I've done a couple of times. I've tried to edit those out, but sometimes you just can't. So that to me is the big reason. Other than that, I feel there's not much of a difference between the 4 and the 5, except for the weight and the battery life. Like I said, the active tracking that they say is new and improved, supposed to work better. I think all those things are great, but it's not that big of a step from the 4 to the 5, except for those 3 things that I see as a big difference. The weight, which is lighter, which is a plus, but it's at the sacrifice of the battery life. The selfie stick, to me, is the thing that made me decide to take the purchase last minute. And I just bought this. I'll be going out on the trail. It's less than 1 week away now. So, but I wanted to do this because I'm actually packed up all my gear, except for this item. I was waiting to open this. And I'm now going to do a gear video as well. So just some other things that are inside the box. So I'm not being neglectful to the things that are inside the box. So obviously you have a cable. It comes with a USB A to C charger. It's an ordinary cable. I have plenty of these. It comes with the tripod attachment. So you can screw this in just like the 4 does. So it screws in, and what this does is this gives you a little bit more reach, and it also allows you to set this up like a tripod. So, oh, it's working. On the 4, there was a ring that came with it that you could permanently affix to the back of your phone, and then it would snap in. I noticed that that's not in this product anymore. So I guess they did away with that, or you have to probably buy it separately. It does come with a wrist strap so that you can secure it. You don't drop it, hopefully. I don't really use that. And it comes with a bag. Once again, it's just a really cloth bag. Not the best protection or quality for it, but it does keep everything organized if you want to use it. I've never used that. The other ones used to come with a hard case, which I think is a lot more secure. But if you're going out on trail, obviously you don't want to use that because it's quite bulky or heavy. And like I said, I see the manual. There's a bunch of safety guidelines and manuals. Keep the lawyers happy, I'm sure. And I'm trying to see what else is there. That's it. So that's all you get in this. So that's all you get in this box. That's everything that's in here. I really didn't mean to do it like an unboxing, and a review. I'm going to take it on my trip. I'm going to use it, and I'll see how it does. I'm willing to take a weight penalty to get good video. I think that I want that, and I think people that watch the videos want that. So I think it's an important thing to do. So it's worthwhile to carry a little extra weight. On my trip to California, I'm hoping to bring the camera possibly. I'm willing to take a weight penalty for that. I think that's a once-in-a-lifetime trip. I'll probably end up bringing my camera. I don't know if I'll bring a wireless microphone as well. They do get kind of heavy. Also, because of I'll be using so much powered stuff, I need to also bring probably two battery packs so that I can continue to keep my devices charged. So that's another issue with all these electronics. As we become electronic dependent, we end up needing to get power. And on a trip where you're not able to resupply, or you're not going to have access to resupply, and power is at a premium on those trips, that's where it becomes an issue. So you end up paying that penalty by carrying more things. So like my trip now that I'm going to take to Georgia, I don't think I'll be stopping anywhere to sleep in a hostel or a hotel. So any power I take, I need to plan for the entire trip and take that with me. So that's going to be obviously looking at 8 to 9 days. So I'm going to carry 2 battery packs, and that's a significant weight penalty because they are heavy. But I'll go into that in my equipment video. So that's it. DJI OM5, and I'm going to be taking this on my trip to the Appalachian Trail in Georgia in June, and after using it for a couple of days, we'll see. Hopefully I'll carry it a little bit more and use it than I did on the C&O with the 4. Of course, it rained 2 or 3 days on there, and I could not use it because I didn't want it to get wet. This is not waterproof or water resistant in any way, so I'll have the same issue again. If it is raining, or if it's really, really extremely humid conditions, I may have to put this away and try and keep it safe. But other than that, I'll do my best to use this as much as possible to hopefully get some better quality video. So that's it. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch the video. If you like what I'm doing, please leave a comment below. Feel free to ask any questions or make any suggestions for things you'd like me to cover or discuss. And as always, thank you for taking time out of your day. Till we meet again.